How can it be that always the same women getting abused? That's a little bit strange story. But what the secret is... Hello everybody, I'm Coach Eleanor. I'm a licensed life and relationship coach. I'm helping people with narcissistic abuse and domestic violence. In today's video, I'm going to talk to you about: are you a narcissist magnet? Are you a narcissist magnet? The question is a narcissist, is he picking everyone out? Is he selecting and willingly going to look for that's a target, that's the person I want to be with, that's a person I can narcissistically abuse? It's a little bit different like that. A narcissist is only happy when he gets his narcissistic supply. So he doesn't care where it comes from. If he gets it from a controlling woman, or he doesn't see people that way. So he sees people as objects. So if he gets to know someone, then let's say he finds a nice woman, but he doesn't know her. What Professor Sam Vaknin said in another video that I had, he told that narcissist makes a snapshot the first time, and then he photoshops the snapshot, and then he idealizes it, and he thinks, okay, this is the person, and it's like a fantasy. So he lives in a fantasy, and he thinks, and he gets from that woman all his attention, all this admiration, validation. So he's happy with it. He lives in a fantasy, and so he's not picking out. He can't pick out because he has a fantasy about you. So he can't really pick out you are vulnerable. He's not busy with that. In his mind, you are the perfect creature on earth. So how is it possible that always you tend to be with the same personality in your life? That's a strange thing. That's a lot of, because I work with a lot of people who have to do with narcissistic abuse and domestic violence. And a lot of women, also sometimes men, say, yeah, I think I'm a magnet because always the same personalities in my life. And it kind of attracts him in a victim role. It's like a passive thought that you have about yourself, because you're not powerless. You're not an object like a magnet. You can think, you can judge, and the most good thing about it is you have control. You have control over your situation. A study shows that there's no difference between the women who are getting narcissistically abused. I see that also in with my clients. How can it be that always the same women getting abused? That's a little bit strange story. But what the secret is you have two kinds of women. One kind of woman says, okay, I'm seeing 3 red flags, I'm out of here. And the other woman is going to stay longer, and she gets all the abuse for years. And those women say, okay, I'm a narcissist magnet. The most women who are gone with 3 warning signs mostly are women who are not familiar with abuse most of the time, and are not familiar with narcissistic abuse or abuse on itself. So if they experience abuse, they think it's very strange. The brain doesn't cope with it, and it says, okay, I'm out of here. This is not love. As a girl, if you see your mother getting abused, getting narcissistically abused, getting battered, humiliated, and you grow up like that, then you think, okay, maybe it's okay, because you're very young and you're getting conditioned. That is the way how to treat a woman. So you're getting gaslighted. Maybe your father is going to influence your mind and say, it's your mother's fault, I have the right to do this. And yeah, maybe you are falling in the trap of the gaslighting. But if you're young, you're getting a kind of perception how a relationship is, and it should be. And then later on in life, suddenly you see, yeah, you're coming in an abusive relationship. And if you have a father who was abusive, but also has his kind sides, has his loving sides, is caring and everything, and you love your father, but he has also a very, very dark side that's dangerous, but you grow up with him and you love him also. So then you bump into a narcissist later in your life, and maybe it begins with very hard shouting to you in the first weeks, and then you're getting a throw or a punch, and later on it's getting worse and worse and worse, and you don't recognize it as abuse. You think, oh, my father did that and he was kind and he was loving, and now this man is also kind, he has his good sides, and then you're going to make excuses for him. You can, oh, he had a bad childhood, oh, it's only him, and he's so nice with the children, he's a good father, no, this is abuse. The women who are coming 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and they say, oh, I'm out of here, those are not really victims. Maybe they get shouted at or disrespectful, but they're not getting in the situation that they are getting a domestic violence and everything, because they are gone before that. And that's the most important thing that you can learn from the other kind of women who doesn't experience. If you get love bombed and then suddenly you're nothing anymore and you go to the narcissistic cycle, go on front and don't wait till it gets worse and worse and worse and you can say, oh, it's a narcissist again. So while the other women are already gone, you are picking up the pieces and try to make it all right and try to get the relation back how it was in the beginning. But that never will be. So what's so important in this situation, what you can learn of? You're not a magnet. You're not a narcissist magnet. Don't let anyone tell you that, and don't believe it, because it's working not productively in your mind. Because you think, okay, I'm a magnet, that makes you passive. You have the strength, you have the power, you can judge, you can make your choices. What's the most important thing? That you get yourself educated, that you see on front what's happening, that you learn to be aware of the red flags. And if you see the red flags, you can say, okay, this and that, that's abuse, I'm not going further. And it can be difficult because maybe you like that person, but stay away, get out, get over it and go on. Because if you're there too long, everything can be damaged, everything can be much, much harder. So get out, stay out, don't go back, and no contact rule. That are the best advice. If you are abused, it's normal that you feel victim and that you are going to process that. You need to process that you're a victim. You need to process that you are abused, and that's a lot of grief. That's a lot of very negative emotions, frustration, everything. So there's a deep, deep wound that needs to be healed. But that's for a while. But then, one time, it's time to stand up and make yourself clean and say, okay, now it's enough. Now it's on me. This is not happening anymore. Now I'm going to look forward. I'm a power woman now, and now it's my time. So that you know, okay, I'm going further now, but I see the red flags. Love yourself. I'm standing up now. It's a time for grief, and there's a time to stand up. And take the time to grieve, and stay in that passive role if you need, but don't stay it forever. Take charge of your life, and become the power woman you are, because you are a power woman. If you have sustained narcissistic abuse, you need to be very, very powerful. So I'm proud of you that you're powerful, but take that power and take it to the next level, to the person you want to be. And then if you meet someone, you say, okay, this and that feels like abuse, okay, further. And don't fall in the trap to blind yourself, go into the shared fantasy and believe everything and the fairy tale. If it goes too fast, too soon, too high, it's not real. So be aware of those kind of kind of different behaviors and take care of yourself.